Lisbon is currently one of the premier digital nomad capitals in the world, a status that has brought a massive influx of remote workers and intense pressure on the local housing market. The city has a distinct magnetic pull. Its sprawling scale and coastal energy mean most nomads who arrive for a few weeks end up extending their stay for months. If you read the popular nomad blogs, you will see the same piece of advice repeated everywhere. Everyone in Lisbon speaks English. But for a stay of 1 to 3 months, is relying entirely on English actually a smart strategy, or is it a trap? Choosing to rely solely on English forces you into a highly specific geographic and economic circuit. It restricts your options to the most expensive zones in the city center. This flowchart shows the two distinct paths a nomad can take upon arrival. The left path prioritizes the absolute convenience of English, leading directly to a heavy tourist premium. The right path utilizes functional Portuguese to reach local access and standard pricing. We're going to conduct an ROI analysis on learning a minimum viable amount of Portuguese to determine if the effort is worth the eventual cost savings. In this city, language isn't just about being a polite tourist. It is a direct financial lever that dictates what you pay and how you experience the neighborhood. To measure the value of learning local phrases, we're using this quadrant chart to map the effort required against the impact it has on your daily life. First, the English-dominant bubble. In neighborhoods like Chiado, Príncipe Real, and LX Factory, English is available in almost every shop and co-working space. The trade-off for that convenience is that you pay inflated international prices and live in a highly manicured, generic version of the city. Contrast that with Portuguese-dominant neighborhoods like Moraia, Alfama, and Graça, which have more successfully resisted full gentrification. Living here requires specific linguistic input. You have to use local greetings like "Ianthão" to Bubain, and accept fumbling through interactions at local shops and tascas. A basic local vocabulary connects you to the city's traditional identity, including the deep-rooted culture of fado music that defines these older districts. Plotting these neighborhood greetings on our chart shows a clear result. The effort is low, and the impact on your social integration is solidly moderate. Stepping geographically outside the tourist center requires a small linguistic investment, but it immediately strips away the tourist tax on your daily living expenses. Let's shift to the daily grind, securing reliable workspace in a city with heavy competition for every available laptop seat. You need specific phrases to operate without friction. Asking, "Posso ficar aqui a trabalhar?" ensures you have table permission, while knowing how to ask for power outlets and the Wi-Fi password prevents a midday battery crisis. Success relies on an unwritten rule. Ordering small items in Portuguese, like uma bica, serves as the cheap, recurring rent required to keep your seat. There is a significant difference between paying for a corporate day pass in English and using Portuguese to secure a locker and a weekly pass at a local neighborhood hub. When we map these daily interactions, workspace and café phrases land squarely in the low-effort, high-impact corner of our analysis. A handful of targeted phrases moves you from being a table-hogging nuisance to a welcomed neighborhood regular, which effectively guarantees your daily productivity. This leads to the two most stressful elements of a long-term stay: finding a monthly apartment and navigating government bureaucracy. Your housing search requires specific vocabulary. You must ask landlords, "Qual é o preço mensal?" to confirm the monthly rate, and "As contas están incluídas?" to ensure utilities are covered. Using these phrases allows you to bypass expensive short-term rental platforms and secure direct-to-landlord leases found on local community boards. The stakes are even higher with bureaucracy. Digital nomad visas like the D8 require in-person appointments at immigration offices, where staff operate almost entirely in Portuguese. These appointments are high-pressure environments, and even with English-speaking staff present, the official process runs entirely in Portuguese. The most important fallback phrase to memorize is "Não compreendo, pode repetir mais devagar?" Asking the clerk to speak more slowly prevents your file from being rejected due to a simple misunderstanding. Mapping this category shows that housing and visa phrases sit in the moderate effort, extremely high impact zone. Compare that to mastering a grammar textbook, which requires massive effort for very little practical daily return. While reaching fluency takes years, prioritizing bureaucratic and rental vocabulary is a high-leverage investment that prevents unnecessary friction during a long-term stay. The language gap in Lisbon isn't about basic survival, it is about access. This scorecard shows exactly what you need based on your specific trip length. If you are here for 14 days with a high budget, skip the language prep, stay in the English bubble, and enjoy the convenience. But if you are a 1-month nomad or a visa seeker, the ROI on learning 20 to 30 functional phrases is massive and effectively mandatory for an optimized experience. The main hurdle is the local accent. Lisboeta Portuguese features heavily compressed vowels and fast speech, which are difficult to learn accurately from text alone. To calibrate your ear before you land, we recommend using the Street Tongue app. Unlike generic language tools, Street Tongue focuses on real-world city dialects and active pronunciation scoring, which is exactly what you need to sound natural in a neighborhood cafe. Let us know in the comments, what is the most awkward misunderstanding you have ever had because of a language barrier while traveling? Lisbon has changed fast, but it heavily rewards those who make an effort. A small upfront investment in the local dialect ensures your time is spent experiencing the city, rather than just passing through it.